If you're a credit repair business owner or funding business owner stuck at 10 to 20K a month, watch the entire video. I'm going to tell you what you need to do to break past that point. Just to validate myself real quick, if you don't know who I am, I've worked with people that are already past that mark. We helped them get past 100K plus per month. Are you going to get past 100K plus per month? I'm not guaranteeing that, but just to validate myself. Pedro, one-on-one mentorship I did with him. He's past that. He's made 7,000 in a day. You see Tony right there. He's already past that as well. So just authority's sake. So basically, I need you to understand that you're stuck right now because you're dealing with operational issues that's leading to issues with fulfillment of your services. So if you listen to everything I'm saying in this video and you do what I say, I'm not making a guarantee, but it's going to help you as far as breaking past that point of where you're at. So let's get straight to it. So this video will literally save your life if you're at that mark because you got to understand that there's such a thing called burnout. And it might be what you're experiencing right now. I know I experienced it before as someone that when I was in school, like taking all the honors, AP classes, just doing a bunch of shit. I'm someone that's like, worked hard and everything. So that might be you right now, but you got to understand if you're going to grow, you've got to take into consideration everything I'm saying as far as getting these stuff in place and systematizing your business because you don't want to lead to burnout. It's not healthy. You could have a high blood pressure. You could just suffer from all these things you don't need to suffer from. And we don't work in this business as funding credit repair just to be stuck and just having health issues. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Let me read the quote real quick before we continue. I ain't read this before. Compassion is the constant act of giving oneself to others, right? So you're gonna be giving people value. Let's get straight to it. Let me not get off topic. So this is common, right? For people that are stuck at the 10 to 20K a month mark, but they can't seem to grow past there. So everything I'm saying in this video, right? People that have worked with me in my program, they understand all the concepts I'm telling y'all today. It's just about y'all putting into place and just continually doing the right thing. So who's this for? Current credit repair business owners are stuck at 10 to 20K per month, that are basically feeling burnt out and they're looking to scale and basically, do the business without working any harder in their business the correct way with the proper systems versus being a hustler and struggling month after month after month, right? I'm clearly not talking about beginners because 10 to 20K per month. So you have some results. You just can't get past that mark. Maybe one month it's 14K, maybe a different month it's 16, maybe it goes back up to 20, then it goes back to 15. You've got to get these stuff in order. There's multiple factors. I'm gonna be transparent. One of the things that helped me scale past that 20K a month mark was simply offering more business funding, right? But I want to talk about the operational things today because I know that sometimes that's a bottleneck as well. But just to be fully transparent, everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Let's talk about some of your issues if you are stuck at that mark, that 10 to 20K a month mark. Oh, if you're not at that 10 to 20K, go watch I think it was 0 to 10K, what I would do to get from 0 to 10K if I ain't have no subscribers, ain't know nobody, if I wasn't, good at credit and funding and all that. So go watch that video and then watch this video once you get to that mark. So number one, you're wearing too many hats. So you're the CEO, you're the sales team, you're the fulfillment, you're the delivery, you're the dispute department, you're all that, right? You're the customer support rep. So basically you're burning out, right? Anybody that does business with us when it comes to our credit repair service, you understand that based off of your experience, right? You book the call, you get contacted, obviously by the automation, but when it comes to actually doing the call, you're speaking with one of my sales reps. You're not speaking directly with me, right? You're speaking with one of my sales reps. And then when it comes to actually delivering the service, you're speaking with someone in my dispute department, right? You get on your onboarding call with someone in my dispute department, the VA, all that, right? So this is obviously me not wearing too many hats. When I was doing stuff in the beginning, even when I was working my 9 to 5, when I was at that 10 to 20K a month mark, I was just doing too much. And it really didn't make sense, especially because I was working a 9 to 5, a chemical engineering one at that. So if you're whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're doing it full time, you've got to look at it as a full time thing and focus on the right things. But we're gonna continue talking about it because for the sake of your health and the business, right? Because you don't want to burn out. You don't want to end up in a hospital because you trying to save the world as a one-man show. Number two, you can't keep up with fulfillment. If you got 50, 60, 70 clients and you doing all the freaking fulfillment, like you're going to be on calls all day, you doing all the calls and everything. I'm not saying you can't do sales calls because sales calls is technically a high ROI, but when it comes to fulfillment of the service, you can delegate that. That's my point. So you can't keep up with fulfillment, you're hitting capacity. You can't onboard more clients without fulfillment just like decreasing, you know. So we're going to talk about the mindset of 10 to 20K a month people in a little bit. But yeah, keep watching. I have a surprise for y'all at the end too. That'll help you for sure. So hiring is a headache as well. You don't know how to hire, right? You don't know how to train these people, and you don't know like what to do when it comes to the whole VA thing. In my opinion, your first hire should be a VA, but when you're at this 10, 20K, 10, 15K, I think you should also have an appointment setter in your DMs that's setting those appointments as well, right? Obviously, we can talk about other outreach methods, but this is not too much of a technical type of video. So if any of the above sounds like you watched the entire video, right? Let me be honest with you though. If you don't fix these operational issues, you're going to stay stuck or it's going to get worse, right? You might end up in a hospital, to be honest, if you're doing everything. Your business is on life support and it's only a matter of time before your business falls, your health falls, all that, right? Because I'm not even trying to be dramatic. Like this is a thing. Some people end up in a hospital from burnout. So you don't want to be that type of person, right? I've worked out so I said worked out. I'm not going to the gym right now. I've worked so hard that I've damn near been like, okay, shoot, I gotta, make sure my health is in order. I gotta monitor my blood pressure. I gotta, do this, that, and the third, right? So I need y'all to understand that this is not only for the sake of your business and serving your clients, but this is for the sake of your health, right? You don't want this to be a lifelong battle with yourself, right? Shout out to Kendrick. Meet the Grams. All right, I'm getting off topic. I'm doing too much. All right, so embrace a growth mindset, right? So you want to embrace a growth mindset and literally change who you are. You have to change who you are if you want to scale past this. And a lot of people they talk about mindset fluff, mindset fluff. I understand that, but mindset is it really is what it is, right? So if y'all don't know, I get paid from this every month. I'm too off topic today, but it's all good. So I get paid from this book, right? The Power of Yet. And I talk about the importance of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So I need y'all to adopt a growth mindset. Shameless plug. If you want to go buy The Power of Yet, go to Amazon. We get royalties every month when people buy it. So I appreciate y'all. So basically, your mindset needs to always be about personal self-development and taking accountability. Right? That's very, very important. So the reality is that most people are poor. When I say poor, I'm not talking about the money in your bank account. I'm talking about the mindset. A poor person could have $1 million in their bank account. It's just about the mindset. Poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. Obviously, the million in a bank account is dramatic, but poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So when you have the mindset that you're able to pass over the opportunity every single time, you're going to stay poor, right? And you don't want to be like most people. Most people are poor. You don't want to be like most people. If you're stuck at that 10 to 20K, maybe your poor, your version of poor is the fact that you don't want to hire. You think that you're the only one that can do what you're doing, right? And that's not the reality. So the reality is right now, you might not even have the mindset. Oh, you might not. Damn, my thing tripping. Hold on. Okay, you might not even have the mindset that's worthy of growing past where you're at right now, right? So the reality is when we show you how real CEOs operate and how they think, you might have to change your entire business. You might flip your business upside down. And it's not to take it personal. If you find yourself doing that based off of the free guide that I'm going to give you, it's no shame in the game. Sometimes you have to have an identity shift. So keep that in mind. Growth happens with your decisions and your habits. When you say you're going to do something, how true is that? Are you cap? Or are you really going to do what you say you're going to do? Do you go to the gym consistently? Right? This is all part of the mindset, right? Do you take accountability for your shortcomings? This goes back to what I was saying. Accountability is very, very important when it comes to a growth mindset. Do you track anything? What does your KPIs look like, right? Are you keeping track of your numbers? Do you know how much it is to acquire a customer, right? Do you know your click-through rate on your ads, right? Do you know what's a good click-through rate? Stuff like that. Like you got to track numbers. So you know your ROAS, your return on ad spend, so stuff like that. So sometimes it feels like you aren't moving, but it's just a matter of time. And what I mean by that, this is a scary concept because you could be doing all the right things and it's just a matter of time before like you quote unquote blow up or do, have that breakthrough. But at the same time, you could be thinking you're doing the right things, but you're not doing the right things, right? The only remedy for this is mentorship and just paying someone that's already been there, someone that's showed and proved that they've helped people in your position, So that's one thing I would say too, as far as the mindset for people that do break past that 10 to 20K a month mark. You got to be willing to pay to get ahead, right? So when I say that, I'm talking about hiring, I'm talking about mentors, obviously, and just having that open mindset to invest, right? I've invested with mentors outside of my space, obviously within my space of credit and funding, but I've invested with mentors outside of my space. I've told y'all about sales mentor. I've told y'all about in terms of running just being a better leader in terms of running like a coaching program, So I've invested in different types of things, and that's what's allowed me to get ahead, right? So keep that in mind. Most people are poor and think everything is a scam. So if they think everything is a scam and think negatively, right? What if it doesn't work for me? What if it does work for you, right? So you have to have that. You have to have that mindset. Poor people are drifters. Go read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill or listen to an audiobook if you haven't. Very good wisdom for the mindset. So 10 to 20K a month credit repair business owner beliefs that we need to get rid of. So this is their belief. They're like, okay, I can run my business lean. I can wear a lot of hats because I've been doing it by myself, right? I've gotten myself to this 10 to 20K a month mark for so long anyways, and I keep more money that way. I bet. This is a problem with that. Time is the most valuable asset, and your mindset needs to be focused just on deploying the most amount of your energy towards the highest ROI activities. For example, sometimes that might just be literally just sitting and thinking about how you can move the vision of your company forward. You have to think like a CEO. You can't think like a 9 to 5 worker, right? You don't want to just sign yourself as a 9 to 5 worker in your business. And you're in a good position, right? Because you are making some money. You're making 10, 14, 18, 20K a month, right? So you're better than those people that are making like 8, 5, 2K a month, right? So at least you're in a good position. You just need to do a little bit more and become that person, right? Become that higher level version of yourself, right? The person that believes that they can do something and the person that believes that they cannot do the same thing, both of those people are correct. So one of the things that's made me fully confident, besides, just always putting God first, is me internalizing and believing in myself, believing that, okay, I might as well delude myself because I understand the power of the subconscious mind. So you got to understand the power of the subconscious mind as well. So the solution for that is you need to basically hire and happily pay a VA to process your disputes, but you also need to hire a commission only appointment setter, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, to be in your DMs, especially if you're running ads. You're going to be getting a lot of leads. If you're running the traffic ads, where you're getting the followers. So, and basically, you need a closer as well. If you can do your calls in the beginning, especially if you're on that lower 10, 12K a month mark, but it gets to a point once you've kind of developed the SOPs for your closing and it's something you can delegate, it's not a bad idea to get a closer in there, right? So the closer, the setter, y'all work together, have a group chat, that type of thing. You monitor it and everything, right? And then, like I said, you also need a higher commission only closer to handle the sales calls. That'll be you in the beginning, and that was me for a while in the beginning before I was able to offset that, right? Because you wanna really have the mindset of, okay, I need to have everything as a repeatable process. How can I replace myself with this, right? I haven't found a way to replace myself with the content. To be honest, I like doing the content. So, and no one's gonna come on here. No one on my team is gonna come on here and articulate the way I'm gonna articulate. So that's a separate point. But if you can delegate, delegate. Second belief that these 10 to 20K a month credit repair business owners have. I know I need to hire, right? So sometimes y'all know you need to hire, but it's such a headache because finding the right VA is a problem. That is not the problem. This is the wrong mindset to have, right? Because it's not. It's not usually the VA or finding the right VA that's a problem. The problem is literally you, right? The problem is literally you. You're the biggest problem in your business. It might hurt to hear that, but you are the biggest problem in your business. I had to stomach that reality that I was the biggest problem in my business at one point. I was like, damn, like me, I'm really the biggest problem. So hiring a VA is great, but it doesn't solve an already broken system, right? And if you don't fix that foundation, you're literally wasting your time, you're literally wasting your money, and you don't want to do all that, right? So just keep that in mind. So what's the solution? You need to hire based off of an already established foundation. And a practical thing for that is having SOPs. So you want to just have the mindset that SOPs come before the hiring. Obviously, make your job listing and everything, but you have to have these standard operating procedures when it comes to running your business. You have to run it as a system. You have to, this is how you get everything automated. This is how you don't end up in a hospital from like overstressing, you know? So just keep that in mind. This is how you go from hustler, wannabe entrepreneur to CEO, real CEO. All right, so last belief, I can just do all the disputes for my clients because no one can do it as good as me, and I don't want my results to get worse, you know, if I give it to someone else. So what is the problem with that? Again, time is your most valuable asset, and disputing is a task that can be delegated without sacrificing client results, right? Your time is better spent elsewhere. So this mindset pretty much does you more harm than good. I know you might think like, oh shoot, no, it's the opposite way, but that's not the case. Because again, burnout. You don't want to get burnt out because when you operate good, I mean, when you feel good, you operate good. So you want to be able to feel good so that you can operate good. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So the solution for that, you need to hire a VA for the fulfillment of your services and develop the mindset of firing yourself from operations because you are the biggest issue in your business when it comes to scaling, right? So you don't want to be involved in like every little thing that could be delegated. So just focus on that and then just make the conscious decision that you're going to change your identity from hustler to CEO. So last thing, hopefully this video was helpful. So I dropped a free guide to basically help you systematize your business and run it like a real CEO versus a wannabe credit repair business owner or wannabe funding business owner. And the guide literally has practical things for y'all to sit and answer so that y'all can really have that reality hidden and like, oh shoot, I gotta change this in my business. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Right. So it's like a checklist in a sense. So you could literally implement it today and begin making changes within like the next day or so within your credit repair business, your funding business, hybrid, whatever, right? So keep in mind, some of y'all will change the entire structure of your business after you go through the guide. So just keep in mind, link will be in the description below. I hope that this video helped. With that being said, focus on being a CEO, not a wannabe credit repair business owner. Y'all have a blessed one. Oh, stay away from poor people too. Y'all have a blessed one.